So the topic is take your power back by letting go of your resistance. And the resistance can be unconscious or conscious. And of course, once it becomes conscious, you can't go the other way. So you can't unknow what you know. So if you are tuning in, let me know you're here, say hello. And again, as always, let me know if you are tuning into the hello, Joan. Let me know if you're tuning into the replay. So letting go of your resistance. This is how we're going to take our power back. So the problem, issue, what I see amongst a lot of us is that we have so much unnecessary resistance in our everyday life. And it's become normal. We don't even notice it's there because it's just normal. And we all participate in it, right? For in different ways, which we're going to get into. So when we do this, obviously we're not in our power. We're giving away our power. It's harder to manifest, and we're really disconnected to who we really are, the essence of who we are. So we're taking ourselves out of the game, again, consciously or unconsciously. So when we do this, when we're not in our power, we're not connected to ourselves. So we're really not we're not meant to live like this, right? Like this is not who we are, disconnected from who we are. So our goal is to live our lives, run our businesses, have relationships, right? Every area of our life in complete flow, no resistance. Now, that is a tall order. I totally get that. But we're gonna peel this back and start with the obvious. We're gonna do an exercise together and then peel it back. So again, if you're just joining us, let me know you're here, say hello. We're talking about how to take your power back by letting go of your resistance. Okay, we live with so much resistance, it's become normal. So this might be a little triggering for some of us because we're so attached to our beliefs, our patterns, our stories, our habits. You know, when I start working with some people, they'll say, no, but Janine, this is the way it is. Like, you don't get it. Like, it's like, yeah, I do get it, right? But our egos want to argue for our limitations. What's that saying? You're in the forest and you can't see the forest for the trees, right? You're in there and you can't see the bigger picture, right? So we have tunnel vision. So I just want to offer a different way of looking at this, a different way of thinking, so you can shift this, because it'll make a world of difference in every area of your life. So there's going to be 3 steps. We're going to go through what that resistance is for you, so resistance, and then what the payoff is. There's a payoff, and when you see it, you go, oh, there's a payoff, I get it, and it starts losing its power over us. So we start seeing it for what it is. And then the 3rd step is the reframe, how to reframe this. So again, if you're, hello, Doreen. So we're just talking about how to take our power back by letting go of our unconscious resistance, usually unconscious. And this is just a way of life for a lot of us. And then we go, oh, there's some resistance. Like, I don't think I have a lot of resistance. And then I started noticing, I'm like, oh, there's a little resistance. There's a little resistance. There's a little resistance. So again, our goal is to live in complete flow, no resistance. It's a totally tall order, but we're going to start with, the more superficial, more obvious, and peel it back. So let's do this together. Think of different areas of your life right now. It could be like, health, wealth, business, career, relationships. It can be all those kind of big nugget ones. It can be also a way, if you've got this kind of pattern, it's always operating, right? So it's our default, right? Whether it's a one-time thing, or every time you open the mail, or every time someone calls you, or every time, or just this operating, a belief that just continuously operates in the back of our mind, and it runs the show, right? So think of different areas. I'll give you a couple examples. I'm just looking down here at my phone. So let's just say you get a phone call, it's from your mom, or your boss, or your ex, or your accountant, right? It's like, oh my gosh, how much money do I owe? Or maybe it's your ex, what's he got to say again? And oh, here it goes, my mom talks so much. Like, we just get triggered, right? And so that's resistance. It's just a phone call. You don't even know what the person's going to say. Maybe they've got the best news in the world, but you've automatically gone to resistance, right? Maybe this is one for me. You go to the bank or a grocery store or the bank, or gas station lineups, right? Lineups. I am the most impatient person around, but I'm learning. I'm better than I used to be, right? But do you indulge in that resistance? Like, oh my gosh, right? And again, this might seem like big deal, Janine. This is huge deals. This is a huge deal. Huge deals, plural, yeah. So like just last week I was at the bank and there was a long lineup. Actually, it wasn't that long. It's just that it was taking a long time. And there's a woman in front of me and she was so annoyed and she had to tell the person beside her. Then she turned to me. She goes, I've been here for 15 minutes. I've hardly moved. Anyways, I noticed I started kind of like, I wasn't like right in there with her, but I noticed it kind of like, I'm like, yeah, like I'm impatient, right? And so it's unnecessary resistance, right? And share if you can relate or if there's any that are popping up. So think about right now, make a list. We're going to add to this going forward. Where do you notice you have a little or a lot of resistance? Maybe it's someone posting social media. Maybe it triggers you. Maybe there's jealousy. Maybe that you feel that they're kind of braggy or like, where is there, again, that's resistance. Maybe it's, every time you open up your mail and you go into another bill, right? Well, how do you know you've automatically got a resistance, but how do you know that maybe you've got a credit, right? That's happened with me, right? Oh, yay, $4 or 40 cents, right? In the positive. Shopping, you automatically think, oh, well, I can't afford that. Maybe that's not you guys on the line, but watching the live, but where do you notice your resistance? For me, it's for sure it's around the, impatience, which doesn't serve me. Another one of mine, but just to shed some light, is a general program that I had running that there was constant resistance. It was my default was I've got so much to do and I've got to do it all on my own. And it was so true for me because I was living, eating, breathing it. Of course it's true, but it's not really true. And it was unnecessary resistance, right? Cutting myself off from what could really be. And, of course now, it still pops up every now and then, but of course it's not true because I have family, I have friends, I have a lot of people that support me. And in my business, I have a lot of team members that support me. So it's not my truth, but I was so in it, I was automatically always pushing against the flow and I was in resistance. So what is it for you? What are some of these? Yeah, feel free to share. Hey, Shauna. Yay, you're here live. So if you're just tuning in, Shauna, we're just talking about how to take our power back by letting go of our resistance, our unconscious resistance. So we're going through what is our resistance right now, and then we're going to look at the payoff and then how to reframe it. So again, it could be anything that's triggering you that you notice that resistance come up. So it could be, it could be around money, could be around health, could be around business, could be around career, anything. Maybe someone you feel is treating you with disrespect, like how dare they, maybe they make you feel less than or unworthy. But that's not true, right? It feels true, but it's not your true, and you're putting up resistance. So we have resistance all the time. The goal here is to make the unconscious conscious and go, oh, here it is. So take a moment, add to the list, feel free to constantly text, binging, yes, constant text binging triggers me. I noticed that this morning and I caught myself. I started getting messages and messages. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, why do I have this reaction, right? Like maybe someone's sending me good news, but everything just is, right? But I hear you, Joan. I totally hear you. Yeah, so look at our resistance, make that list, add to it, like continually add to it. And just, I got to pause because I'm not saying that, sometimes people do treat us unfair. Maybe you've got you guys are probably all self-employed, but let's just say you've got a mean friend or mean boss or a mean friend, or someone treats you with disrespect, or the barista, right? Or whatever, right? I'm not saying that they're justified. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying the situation isn't real, right? You could say, well, Janine, I really can't afford it, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is less about that situation specifically But what I am talking about is how you relate to it that causes the friction, that keeps you at a distance from what you really want, and also keeps that pattern alive, right? It keeps that pattern alive. So here we go. So step one was we just went through the resistance. Hopefully you guys got a list of areas where you resist, right? For me, you know, the biggie was, it's not so much anymore, but it's like, I got to do so much and I've got to do it all on my own, right? So here's the question I want you to write down. What is the payoff? What is the payoff? Or another way to look at that is, what am I getting out of this? Right? So what's the payoff? Pick whichever one. They were saying the same thing. Or what do I get out of this? What am I getting out of this? Right? And typically it supports an unlimiting belief. It supports our trauma. It supports areas of our life that actually don't serve us. Right? It keeps it alive. So for me, if I was to answer that, like, okay, so I've got to do everything and I've got to do it all on my own. That's my resistance. The payoff is I get to stay in the same place, right? I get to keep doing it on alone. I get to stay busy. I get to be tired. I know that doesn't sound like a positive, but that's the payoff, right? I don't need to feel like I stay busy, going to keep busy, got to do it all myself. I don't have to feel, right? But I get to stay in my known comfort zone. I don't have to grow. And then when I saw it, I'm like, whoa, I see it for what it is. It loses its power over me, right? I'm not saying it's just gone like that, but you see it in a whole new light rather than it staying unconscious, right? A couple other would be examples of the payoff would be I get to be right. It might not be true, but I get to be right. I get to stay safe. I don't need to grow. I don't need to be more visible. I don't need to step out of my comfort zone and be seen. I don't have to do anything that looks uncomfortable or feels uncomfortable, right? I get to stay in victim mode, right? If you're picking up what I'm putting down, add to this if you want. It helps each other, right? You might get a sense of belonging. Right? The payoff is like, well, I'm just going to go along to get along. Might not agree. I'm not going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm just going to stay comfortable. And this is going to give me a sense of belonging, right? So what is the payoff? Figure out what the resistance is. And then what is the payoff? There's always a payoff. Otherwise we wouldn't do it, right? So yes, did you guys get the payoff there? Again, this can be really personal. I don't expect you guys to put air your dirty laundry. Not that you guys would have dirty laundry, of course. But yeah, so now we want to reframe it, right? We want to feel it to heal it for sure. We don't want to sweep it under the rug or pretend it doesn't exist, but we want to feel it to heal it. But most of us continue to repeat the pattern over and over because it's usually unconscious, or we just stay in our comfort zone, or we go on default, right? But we are conscious creators. So we want to see it for what it is. And the truth is, it just is. The situation, it just is. You brought it to life. It just is. Now, I'm not going to go into the universal laws, but I just want to explain the concept that really in the universe, everything just is. Everything is neutral. The only reason it doesn't seem neutral is because of the meaning we've given it. If I had, 50 of us right here, I could say, money is good. And there's going to be a certain percentage of you that go, yes, it is good. And then another percentage is going, money's bad, right? Like it's just the meaning we've given it. Well, are the people who say it's good, are they right? Are the people who say it's bad, are they right? Right? I could give a gazillion examples and I'm sure you can relate, but it's not good or bad. It's just the meaning we've given it. So it's the way you relate to this thing that you have resistance. It's your relationship to it that dictates the outcome. So we want to take our power back over that situation, right? What does, makes me think of Wayne Dyer's, change the way you look at things and the things you look at will change, right? Change the way you look at things and the things you look at will change. Classic quote. So can you take that resistance right now and along with the payoff where you go, I'm doing this to get a payoff. I get to stay comfortable. I don't need to grow. I don't need to be seen, right? Now that you know what you know, can you change the way you look at it? Can you see it as it really is? It just is. It's just neutral, right? Someone sending me a bunch of messages, or you're binging on your phone, right? Whatever this is, or your mom keeps calling you. I would love for my mom used to call me all the time. It's like, oh my gosh, well, she's not around anymore. So now it's like, oh, I'd love for her to call me, right? So everything just is. It's actually neutral. So if you're thinking, I can't afford it, right? That might be your current reality, but it's not your truth. So can you change the way you look at it? Can you see where your resistance is and how you're cutting yourself off, right? The payoff is that you might get to stay safe. You get to keep your programming. You get to keep your story, right? Because it's actually, a lot of people say, no, I do want the money. It's like, do you really? Because your vibration, your way you're thinking it's showing you what you're thinking and how you're feeling about it, right? But most of us, we fear change, right? It's just easier. I'll just stay here, right? We perceive a whole new set of challenges by changing, right? We'll say, nope, I'm just going to stay in this known comfort zone. Known is very comfortable. So you have probably heard me say this, right? You always do what you've always done. You always get what you've always got. So the question is, if you're at a pivotal point right now, is do you want to keep doing what you're doing? If not, right, look at that resistance, get your list, keep adding to it, notice it. Like, I don't know if I would have noticed in that lineup, oh, I have resistance right now, right? I would have just kind of gone through the motions, right? Oh yeah, I'll line up. Oh my God, roll my eyes, have a little chat. Yeah, why don't they have another teller there, right? So I could have just kind of gone on autopilot default, but now you know, go into your life, even for the next 24 hours. Let's do a little challenge here. So for the next 24 hours, take inventory of where your thoughts are, where you notice resistance, like never before, like just 24 hours. Maybe even have a little notepad in your purse, or have your iPhone where there's the notes, right? Your memos. Right? So notice all the areas where maybe it's when you open your bill, it's like you start having anxiety, or roll your eyes, or whatever you might do. Like notice, like hyper awareness, 24 hours, right? Or longer, right? You've got your list. What's the payoff, and how can you reframe it, right? Slow down, become present. Where's the resistance? Look at that list, add to it. What's the payoff? And how can you reframe it? A very, very powerful exercise, and not hard to do either, right? But a great way to take your power back. So I hope you found this insightful, a few little insights. Yes, love money. Yes, Shauna, woohoo, love money. Money's a beautiful thing. You can do so many things with it. And I know I can see the names here, and you guys are all amazing with money. So if it comes to money, I'm preaching to the choir here. So anyway, hope you found this helpful. Always love the insights and feedback and comments afterwards. So keep me posted, and we will chat with you soon. Have a great week, and do the 24-hour challenge. Let me know how it goes. Bye-bye.